Good morning. Sawadee. How's everybody doing? Today, what is today? Today is the 17th of September, Tuesday. It is 8:45 a.m. here in Bangkok, Thailand. All right, and we're ready to roll. I've got my coffee, the old-fashioned, which I will tell you what is in it because I didn't know. Apparently here in Pacamara, it is a cola cold brew, vanilla syrup, lime juice, tonic water, served on an ice ball, topped with orange peels infused. So that's what it is. That's a coffee the old-fashioned. Not that that's important, but in case you want to make one, that's what you need. And I didn't know what it was, so I couldn't make one at home. I mean, I could look it up, but they have some that have whiskey in it, and there's all kinds of ingredients. But here, I like this one. It's very good. And I've got the ice balls. I'm trying to find an ice ball mold that is the best one. I've got 3 different kinds of molds, and they suffice. But one of them, the ball comes out. It's a ball. It's very nice, except sometimes it has cracks in it. You know, that's not good. The other one is like you just pull off the top, and you have a ball inside of it. But then you got to get the ball out. It's okay. And then I have another one that is like what they have here, which has 3 balls in it. And the problem with that is that even if you fill it up, for some reason, it doesn't seem to work as well as it should. So I'm trying to find the very best mold that I can get. It might cost me it might cost me $20, $30, but I will get it. Now, before we get started, the other day it was 33.22 to the dollars to the baht. Now it is, or baht to the dollar, it's 33.36. And it's just hovered there. Yesterday it was going back and forth. It is what it is. 69 AQI, air quality index. Temperature is 83, and the feel like temperature is 83 as well. High of 92, low of 79, and it's 77% humidity. Rain is forecast through next Thursday. I mean, you know, every single stream, it's a week ahead, a week ahead, a week ahead. Rain is forecast, and it does look rainy. It does look like it's going to rain. I dare say by the time I leave here, it will be raining. So, and I don't mind it, but like all the time, I could use some sun, you know. They got a handful of guys over here. I don't know who they're from, where they're from, or what they're doing, or anything like that. But there's a whole bunch of. There's about 12 guys sitting over there. Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning, Dalo and Jim. Good morning, everybody. Sawadee Ton Chow. So today we're going to talk about us versus them, and you know this is just another one of those topics that you know we could talk about until we're blue in the face. Nose itches. My wife would say that's a good thing. She thinks when your nose itches, that means money's coming. I don't agree with her, but my nose itches. Um, anyway, so us versus them, what I mean is us as in Western expats versus them as in Thais. And, you know, there's a lot of that going around, and I try to refrain from that just because it really doesn't do any good, in my opinion. It doesn't do you any good to be against them or it's us and them. You know, look at it from that perspective. It doesn't really do you any good. So I'm going to get into that, but let's see here. There's a little bit of news out there right now. First of all, in case you don't know, Texas Chicken, which I found this out as soon as they let it out into the media, Texas Chicken is closing down at the end of this month. No reason was given. And honestly, I don't know that it was making enough money. I don't know that they were making enough money because there used to be a Texas Chicken. It was right around this spot. Maybe it was over a little bit. I'm not sure. But there was Starbucks, and then across from Starbucks was Texas Chicken. And, you know, I'd go in there once in a while. And, I mean, I thought the food was pretty good most of the time. Then I noticed there was a bit of a decline, and actually, Two Quarters Korean had said something to me, and Jono had said something to me. They were like, I don't know about Texas Chicken. I was like, I don't know, man. It's always good when I go there. Then I went in one time, I had a Mexican burger, which is usually what I would get, a Mexican burger. And for some reason, I went home, man, and I was like on the toilet for the next 2 hours. And I was like, what's going on with this? It's the food. And so what I figure is, just like in some parts of Thailand and with some vendors, they reuse their oil, like over and over and over again. So you're getting old oil. That's what I think. And I just, when I looked at, you know, they would have maybe 10 customers in the place at all times. But you think about how much they're making. 10 customers and, you know, maybe like, let's say 20 customers an hour is not that much money. 30 customers an hour when they're making, you know, they might be making, you know, I don't know, 5,000 baht an hour. You know, I mean, it just didn't work out to be a huge amount. And the thing with franchises is, it's the total amount from all the franchises, as long as you own all the franchises. So I don't know how much they were making, but for whatever reason, they are leaving Thailand. They're in 26 countries. Yeah, I don't know. PTT Oil and Retail Business PLC brought it into Thailand 9 years ago, opening the first outlets at its PTT petrol stations and then branching out to other places, including some community malls. So goodbye, Texas Chicken. No big deal. Honestly, I try to stay away from fast food restaurants. If I go to a fast food restaurant, it needs to be like a sushi joint or some kind of place where I'm going to get some decent food. I almost never go to McDonald's, Burger King. There's no Burger King in the mall now. There used to be a Burger King down a ways. I don't even know what the name of that place is. Some Japanese burger joint that sucks. So I try to stay away from these fast food places. All right, so in other news, let's see here, what is he? The tourism minister, Surawang Tiantong, has now said he wants to reinstitute, even though it has not come out yet, the 300 baht tourism tax. It was shelved. Earlier, I think last year, or maybe early this year, and supposedly they're going to earn 3 trillion baht. This country, they are constantly looking for ways to make money, which is a good thing. But I think they're kind of screwing people over. And Thailand is not the bargain that it used to be. It's not. So the tourism fee scheme was approved by the cabinet in 2022, but has not been endorsed via publication in the Royal Gazette. So that means no dice until it does get published. And this guy's saying, I believe the collection of a tourism fee benefits the tourism industry, since the revenue can be used for the development of infrastructure and attractions, along with ensuring tourist safety. And you know, I don't know what to say about that, other than I think it's rubbish. Oh yeah, it's going to develop the infrastructure. So wait a minute. If you're not getting taxes from the foreigner, how are you going to develop your infrastructure? I just think it's rubbish. You know, which a lot of what the government says and does around the world, governments around the world, I think it's a bunch of BS. They're looking out for themselves. They're not looking out for the people. And they can say, oh yeah, we're looking out for the people. We want to develop the infrastructure and all the attractions. Well, wait a minute. You want to develop the attractions. If you have attractions that tourists are going to, we're paying 5 to 10 times more than Thais. So isn't that money going into developing the attractions? Or are they just keeping it as profits? I don't understand it. And you know, of course I don't understand it. Because I look at it and I go, really, I want to see where is their transparency. I'd like to see some of these things, where the money is going, and I don't think it's going to happen. Foreign arrivals by air must pay 300 baht, while the rate for those arriving by sea and land is 150 baht. All right, it's not much, but you know what? 300 baht here, 150 baht here, price of things going up, and before you know it, all these little things are adding up and you're paying a lot more money. I just saw something about milk in Thailand. I haven't figured it out, but I figured milk is more expensive here than it is in the United States. And it's something like $2.10 in the United States for the equivalent amount, and here it's like $2.75. So why is that? Is it more expensive because the cows are a higher grade of cow? Why is it more expensive here than it is in the United States? It's not like we're importing milk. So why is it more expensive? The cost of living here is lower than in the United States by quite a bit, by 40%. So what I want to know is how come it's more expensive? Now I understand imported cheese. They have a milk industry. Please, Jim. Don't even go there. They have it. If not for your videos, I would have never known that Texas chicken had ever existed. It would surprise me. I don't think they're making that much money. Moss Burger. And it's shit. I'm sorry. But when I ate there, it was garbage. I've never gone back. That tells you how good it is. 400 baht for a full body oil massage, still not too expensive compared to, yeah, but you got to stop comparing. Because what will happen is now you're comparing and you're like, oh, well, that's not too expensive. And then in the future, you're going to go, oh, well, it's only 900 baht and it's 2,000 baht in Oz. And then you're going to go, oh, it's only 1,300 baht. You're saying 400 baht for a full body oil massage. Well, it's 360 where I am. But it used to be 100 baht an hour when I first got here. So, okay, it's double. And, you know, I'm not complaining about that. You know, the labor is very cheap here, and that's why they can do that. This progressive government will ruin the country. I agree. I have an idea of what to do. Then it's basically just make sure we have We always have $4,000 to $5,000 a month, so that wherever we want to go, pretty much wherever we want to go, we can have a comfortable standard of living. I think there's a more dairy than you think, Jim, honestly. If you think about it, and you look at all the different milks in the grocery store, and you look at the cheeses that are Thai cheeses, there's a lot of things that they have here. And this is I mean, I used to have this conception that Thais didn't really eat bread. They didn't eat bread, they didn't drink milk. But that's not true. They do. Now, it depends. Maybe if you're out in the farmland, they may not eat as much bread. They may eat a lot more rice. I don't know. But they do. They eat cheese here. You know, I mean, I'm a foreigner. There's probably only 3% foreigners in the mall. So who's buying all the cheese and all the milk? Well, I mean, not only that, it was choke chai milk. There's all kinds of, there's Meiji. There's all kinds of milk. So, you know, that's neither here nor there. So we'll see what happens with this 300 baht thing. As the government has pledged to support new man-made attractions and to boost second-tier cities, we will encourage the private sector to invest more by offering incentives such as tax incentives. All right. I'm going to say this again, and I know that some people may not like it, and they may go, oh, well, who are you to say that? What am I getting from my tax money here? I get to ride around in the Songtao, okay, which is, the Songtaos are okay. I get to take the BTS, very nice. The MRT, very nice. CityLink, nice. I get to use these things. Now, if I was out in the countryside, I wouldn't be using them. I'd be using buses and things like that. And, you know, I get to use their roads. But what if I don't want to go to their attractions? Really, I've gone to a lot of attractions, and very seldom do I go to attractions anymore. And Jono and I were talking about this the other day. If I go somewhere, it's probably with the family because they want to go. So let them go. I don't have a problem with it. They can go. And they don't pay anything extra. I go, I got to pay extra. Okay, fine. I got to pay extra. But if I'm paying taxes, why am I paying extra? Why do I have to pay the 300 baht, plus I got to pay income tax? And what am I getting for it? What am I getting? I can't become a citizen, can't become a permanent resident. Not now. I'm not working. So, what do I get out of this deal? I get nothing. They get everything. And this is the thing. They have to start thinking. This is what I believe. Maybe I'm wrong. But I don't think so. The Thai government needs to start thinking, how can we provide great value to people who are coming here so they pay a little bit more money, but they get stuff and they go, wow, my trip to Thailand was so fantastic. And I mean, I see these guys coming here. They've come here one time. What was that guy that I saw? He's been here for like 2 weeks. And he's thinking about getting an apartment. He's thinking about moving over here. Okay, great. But he's talking about how great Thailand is. I'm like, wait a minute. You're a visitor. You are a visitor. You don't know what it's like to live here. There's a difference. Big difference. We stayed in a resort in Hawaii. We were charged a resort tax when we checked out. Didn't use any of the stuff we were told. It was mandatory that it was there if we wanted it. We're not talking about Hawaii. We're talking about Thailand. And quite frankly, that's how I'm thinking because, I live here. Again, I live here. I'm not a visitor. I'm not a tourist. And so when I'm here, I think, okay, so what's good? What's good for me? And, listen, they got a lot of good things here. There's a lot of great things here. Good morning, Aiden. Most of these resorts charge an unreasonable resort fee. Again, we're not in Las Vegas. We're here. There has never been, that I know of, at least in the past, there were not resort fees, or it was there was a minute number of places that charged resort fees, and never have I been to one. And I've been to a few really nice places, but I never paid a resort fee. So my getting away from that, what I'm saying is, if you're paying income tax, which isn't a big deal really, if it's not that much, I want to see how it all works out, and how their deductions and how they give you basically that you can write off the Social Security and some pensions. I want to see how it works out to where, if I'm paying 2,200 baht or something like that for my taxes, I'm not going to complain. It's not a big deal. But if they go, oh yeah, you're going to have to pay 32,000 baht every year, I'm going to be like, what? So now I'm paying almost an extra 3,000 baht a month. For what? Oh, so you can live here. Well, I was living here before. So I think that way. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. So, it remains to be seen. And I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. I'm not bitching and moaning about anything. I'm not really bitching and moaning about the taxes. Although I do think that, honestly, I think that Thailand, they have a tendency to shoot themselves in the foot. They let out things a little bit too quickly without thinking it through. Like I said a long time ago, they throw stuff on the wall. They want to see what sticks. And then they pick out what they can, and that's what remains. But in this instance, with the taxes, with this new entry tax, where's all the money going? Why don't they have any money? Why does Thailand not have any money? It's a very prosperous country. They should have money. And if people are not paying the taxes, then they need to go after the people who aren't paying taxes. Good morning, Andy. Good morning. So I don't know. And, this is the thing. I will sit back and I will wait to see what is finalized, what's going to happen. I'm not really upset about the taxes now, but, in my head, I'm like, I'm not paying anything. I don't want to pay anything. And so I think of these things, but I always go, just wait. Let's just wait until we see what's final. Let's see what's finalized. Let's see what happens. Then I can determine, okay, this is a good deal, this is not a good deal, or whatever it is. But as of right now, nothing's finalized, nothing's changed. No big deal to me. And every day that goes by, I look at every day that goes by is one day closer to the end. Because I don't know how long I'm gonna be here. Now, if I'm here for another 20 years, it's still one day closer to the end. And that's fine with me. All right, so, we know that this may be coming. I don't know when. And I'm anxious to see if they do pass it. See, they say that they're looking into details about finalizing the collection procedure in a way that does not discourage tourism sentiment. Well, I got news for you. It does. Even if it's only 300 baht. People may go, yeah, whatever. But they're thinking to themselves, that's 300 baht there. And then when I get there, they're charging me more money to go in than they charge for the touch. Okay, that's not that much. And then, there's this, and then there's that. Oh, the taxis, they don't want to turn on their meter. All these things add up, and this is why, while Thailand has a great reputation in many ways, this is why there is negativity attached to their reputation. Ignite Tourism Thailand policy initiated by Mr. Sreta should be continued, including aspects such as entertainment complexes, the aviation hub, and second-tier cities. Okay, entertainment complexes. What does that mean? Let's see here. We're not talking about that, Rick. We're talking about the entry tax that they are talking about they never did institute it. They put it on the shelf, and now they're bringing it out again where they want to charge people 300 baht to come into the country. Tourists, expats, foreigners, not Thais. So they're trying to figure out how can we charge the foreigners but not charge the Thais. So that's that. Supposedly in Pattaya, the nightlife is still expanding. Even though people are saying things are not what they used to be, which I don't think they are. But the new Shark Go-Go Club will be opening on Walking Street and will occupy most of Soi Diamond. It's a 3-story facade, 3 shop houses long and 5 shop houses deep, with a downstairs floor space of 230 square meters. Over 100 young ladies will make sure the customers, who may be South Koreans and Singaporeans, just as much as they may be Americans, that all the customers are comfortable and free of hassle. For example, if you take your time ogling the go-go dancers, you won't be told to order another drink before you are ready. Really? Since when has that happened? Come on, man. You know, I don't know, maybe they're changing their whole... See, this is the kind of approach that they need to take. Let's not hassle the customer. Let's be good to the customer. That way the customer wants to come back. Let's not say, oh, you've been sitting there for 15 minutes with your watered-down drink, and you don't have anything in the glass. You want another drink? You want another drink? You want another drink? Which is what they do. They're not nearly as bad as they used to be, but still. Meanwhile, Pattaya's leading gentlemen's club operation is continuing its expansion. It's a consortium of local bars and clubs offering visitors who join a retreat where they can relax in style and enjoy discounts such as cheap beer, menu choices, and weekly pub crawls. A 28-room adult-themed resort with a club will be opening in Jomtien as early as January next year. 700 meters from Jomtien Beach, it will replace the current ISOL residential block, and the facilities will include small kitchens in the room, an on-site restaurant, coin-operated laundry, and a large swimming pool. I don't know what this really means. Pattaya's gay scene can't compete with these macro developments. The 2 main venues remain the Jomtien Complex Supertown and Pattaya Boys Town in the center of the city. The main attractions in both districts are very glitzy and professional cabaret shows. Woo! Though the audiences remain stubbornly Western and elderly in appearance, where all gay Russians, Chinese, and Indians hang out remains a bit of a mystery, according to local bar owners. But in a break with tradition, a gay bar has opened in the staunchly heterosexual walking street. Its secrets in Soi 14, formerly a straight club. That's certainly a first, at any rate, for many years. You know, let's change Pattaya into a family-friendly destination. And yet, this is what they're doing. they've been talking about the casinos for quite some time, and I do think they're going to pass and they're going to be here, and it's a done deal. So think about something. Weed, casinos, taxing the foreigner, entry taxes, all this is billions of baht. So I don't know why Thailand wouldn't have any money. Where's all the money going? They're spreading it all around to the poor? I don't know. I mean, they're giving them 10,000 baht, which is not a whole lot. That's not even 1,000 baht a month. So, you know, I guess they're giving them something, and it's not only for the poor. That's the thing. Venice was by far the worst place we visited, blah, blah, blah. Morning. Good to know. Morning. Okay, good morning, everybody. I'm not going to say good morning anymore. Good morning to everybody. Now, in Pattaya also, a violent Aussie brawl was the stage for a disturbing altercation between two drunken Australian tourists. Oh my God. The incident, witnessed by a bewildered crowd, highlights a troubling trend of escalating public disorder in the area. You could buy a lot of votes for 10,000 baht. Well, you know, before they were getting 500 baht, so that tells you something. They'd be sitting down there on Rajdemnern Road, all the farmers, to collect their money. The chaos began with a confrontation between the intoxicated men. This is the thing. You know, I understand that not everybody can control their alcohol, and, you know, sometimes people get a little carried away. But I don't think you need to be, you know, you don't need to be difficult. That's being very nice. I could use the C word, you know, which they like to say in Australia. The involvement of a self-proclaimed police officer in the brawl underscores the lawlessness and lack of respect for authority that some tourists display. You know, I don't like that. I really don't like that. The lawlessness, and, you know, you got a police officer, and these guys are like bridging up against the police officers. It's like, listen, the police officer tells you something to do, instead of being an asshole, you just go, okay. Or maybe you go, oh, I'm not really sure, but why is that? I didn't know that's how it was. Can you tell me why? And usually, you know, if the police officer speaks decent English, he'll tell you why. That, listen, aside from cops who are arresting you for something that maybe you did, if you're just a tourist out there and you don't have any drugs in your body or on your body, Thai police are great. They're very easy to get along with. They always want to know about you. They want to talk to you. So what's the problem? Local police arrived to find tourists resisting their efforts to calm the situation, leading to a struggle for over 30 minutes. The aggressive and alcohol-fueled behavior of the men not only hindered the restoration of order, but also emphasized the challenges of managing public safety in such volatile situations. Local residents and bystanders played a crucial role in separating the brawling tourists. However, the situation escalated further when one of the men reacted to police intervention with a tirade of profanities. Why? This disrespectful behavior illustrates a broader issue of how some visitors, including those falsely claiming to be police officers, interact with local community and authorities. Eyewitnesses reported that the men had been drinking together before the altercation, suggesting a pre-existing relationship and a scenario ripe for conflict. The fact that neither party chose to press charges reflects a disturbing norm where such incidents are seen as part of the landscape rather than serious criminal behavior. You know what they're going to do? They're going to put in the little devices that measure your alcohol. And if the bartender thinks you've drank a little too much, he's going to go, no, I'm not giving you any more. And then you'll go somewhere else, and they're, you know, who knows? I don't know. I don't know how they can control that, but local residents voiced their concerns, stating this latest episode is part of a troubling pattern of public disturbances in Pattaya, raising questions. God damn it. What's going on with my computer here? Well, what happened? Well, we'll just have to wait a second. Here we go. Ugh. Come on, baby. Okay. Raising questions about the effectiveness of local law. God damn it. Law enforcement. Let's see here. In curbing such incidents. As these occurrences become increasingly common, it is crucial for both local authorities and the community to address the underlying problems. All right. Wherever there are bars, there are drunks. You know. Rampant disorder. Without a concerted effort to tackle these problems, Pattaya's reputation as a hotspot for outrageous behavior is likely to persist. I hate to tell people this. Pattaya does not have a reputation of being a family-friendly city. It's Sin City. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but just fess up. Admit it. I mean, that's how I look at it. Fess up. Just admit it. All right, let's get to this next episode. I don't know what is going on with my computer today, but I got some problems here. I had problems when I logged in. I got more problems right now. What's happening is I'm freezing up. So I gotta wait a second to see what happens. Yeah, here we go. All right, so let's see here. Oh God, you know. I don't know what's going on with this. Here we go. I got issues. I got issues. Let me see here. If I can get around this. I really need to restart my computer, but I didn't want to do that. Oh, is this the same one or no? No, this is not the same one. That's great. All right, I'm gonna have to go over here and see what I can do. All right. All right, let me try something here. Son of a... All right. Anyway, I got to restart this computer because it's not good. don't have any. Jesus Christ, man. I gotta restart it. But what we're going to talk about is the us versus them mentality. And this mentality, this idea of how dealing with issues here in Thailand, it's been around for a long time. As long as I've been here, there's been us versus them. What is going on here? Shut down, restart it. Vegas is way mild now. They succeeded in making it more family friendly. Well, here's the thing. They're not going to make Pattaya more family friendly when they allow blocks and blocks of bars and go-go's and discos. And they know what goes on there. So it's not going to happen. How can it happen? It can't. It's not. It won't. You know, I wish I could say, oh yeah, everything's going to be great. No, it's going to stay the same. And they have tried and tried and tried to make it a family-friendly destination. Listen, you want to know what to do in Pattaya. I know a few things you can do there. But other than that, I don't know many tourist things to do. Hey, yeah, I'm going to go hang out at Beach Road. I'm going to go hang out somewhere on Beach Road. I'm going to go to a restaurant. Or, you know, I know I can do those things. All right, we should be back here. I mean, I'm sure that some people bring their families there, but they know what kind of a city it is. They know what they're getting going in. All right, let me see if I can get this going here. Okay. I think I am fine. We will see. You know, if you think about it, as long as I've been here, 30 years, they've been talking about changing Pattaya into a different sort of a place. And they haven't done it. Why is that? Man, I got a sore throat. Okay, your Firefox has been updated. Very good. All right, we're back. Just let it all load and we'll be good. Everywhere in Las Vegas, outside the strip, is very friendly by tourists. Okay, so let's see here. Expat versus Thai dynamics. All right, so the notion of us versus them is a rather tempting oversimplification, but the reality is a lot more nuanced. If you're living in Thailand for an extended period of time, the realization that there are relationships between expats and Thais, and those relationships tend to be a bit complex, or they're very, very superficial. They're shaped by cultural differences, cultural expectations, and mutual interests. And therein is the rub. Right from the beginning, it's us versus them. And the thing is like for me, I'm not somebody who's like, oh, you know, I want to hang out with foreigners. I don't care. Foreigners, Thai, doesn't matter to me. Honestly, I get along with everybody. Some expats may feel like outsiders or perceive a divide due to language barriers, cultural misunderstandings, or the legal and financial restrictions that they face here. On the other hand, many Thais may view expats with a mixture of curiosity, admiration, or even skepticism, particularly in tourist-heavy areas where some expats don't integrate very smoothly. And that's the bottom line. How well do you fit into the society? And tourists don't really, what I found is most tourists, there's tourists who they come here, they want to be very careful about what they say and what they do, and they don't want to offend anybody. But there are a lot of tourists out there, we'll say the Australians who were brawling in Pattaya, we'll say the Kuwaitis and the other Middle Easterners, the people from Dubai, they're always brawling. It's like, wait a minute, what are you doing this here for? Why are you doing this? Most Thais don't go around beating people up unless you give them a reason. I don't think I'm trying to think if I ever been I might have been threatened by a Thai once or twice. But not really with physical violence. It was more like their attitude was a little bit aggressive. One or two people in 30 years. The only problems I've really ever had have been with foreigners. The us versus them mindset isn't universally true. Many expats successfully integrate into the Thai society, building strong relationships and respecting local customs. That's the thing. It depends on how individuals approach living in a foreign culture, and adopting a respectful, open attitude can break down barriers and foster mutual understanding, while ignoring cultural norms can reinforce the division that the Thais and foreigners both feel. And that's why I say one of the best things you can do is just learn a little of the language. That's it. Learn a little bit of the language. Say Sawadi Cup. Taurai Cup. Painai Cup. Chokdi Cup. Jukan Mai. Learn some basics. Anybody with half a brain can learn 20 phrases. You put it on a little cheat sheet, you're walking around, Taurai Cup. Cup Kun Cup. Sawadi Cup. You learn this, and then, you know what? The Thais appreciate it. And while some people, I'll never, I know a few people that are like, I'm never going to learn how to, well, I can tell you one. I know one right off the bat. It comes in here every once in a while. I'm not going to mention his name because unless he comes in here and says something, I'm not going to mention his name. But he lives in Pattaya, and he's like, I would never learn to speak Thai. And his attitude is like, screw them. Well, guess what? When you have that attitude, they can sense it. You're never going to fit in. That's the thing. And some people, I don't care if I fit in. Well, that's good. Don't care then. And then guess what? You're going to have a hard time with things that should be easy. Maybe you'll get lucky and you won't have a hard time. But you know what? A lot of times, you don't want to speak any of the language. You want to have that kind of piss poor attitude. They can sense it, man. Exploring this theme, we can open up a discussion on the different experiences here of expats, some of the challenges that we face, maybe the Thais face, and how to connect with Thai society. There are things like cultural integration, expat privileges, and mutual misconceptions. And one of the things that I see is that a lot of foreigners who come here, they tend to think that because they're from a foreign country, they are better, or they know better than the Thais. And it's not true. It's just not true. And the thing is that Thai people are different. Sometimes what I always say is they're wired differently than we are. We may be wired straight like this, and they may be wired like this, but we're all going to the same place. We all just want a decent place to live. We want to have money in our bank account. We don't have to want to worry about paying for food. We all want the same thing. So I think that's what the connection needs to be, more of what's alike with us than what is different. But people don't always remember that when they're out getting shit-faced. They're out getting drunk, they're out chasing girls. Somebody tells them, hey, that's not really polite what you're doing with that girl. Remember the guy, I don't remember the guy's name now. He was on, in Pattaya on Walking Street, I think it was Walking Street, and he was filming some girl that was drunk. She was inebriated, and she was out of it. And he was filming her, and some Thai guy goes, hey, that's not good. You don't need to film her. Why are you filming her? And he said, basically, he flipped him off. And the Thai guy beat his ass. And I'm like, well, what do you expect? What do you expect? You're doing something disrespectful. You don't take into consideration that what you want and what you're doing may not be the best way. And so the guy beat his ass. And I'm like, okay, so? And nothing happened to him. So, I was wondering approximately what percentage of foreigners integrate into Thai society. And I did a little research. And while there are not precise statistics, anecdotal evidence and expert opinion suggest that the level of integration among expats varies significantly depending on factors such as language skills, willing to embrace Thai culture, personal relationships, and the length of stay, your length of stay here in Thailand. So, the vast majority of people have a very low integration rate with Thai people. People working here temporarily, visiting, and people just sticking to expat communities. 60 to 70% of those people do not integrate into Thai society. They may not learn Thai or deeply engage with local traditions and customs. So 60, 70%, right off the bat, don't even bother integrating. And I think if you go live in somewhere in Scandinavia, one of the countries, any of the countries in Scandinavia, and you want to become a citizen, they make you learn the language. They do that here. But you would think that you'd start learning it as you are building your time up in that place. So, same thing here. You got to build up your time here. Never show arrogance even if you are right. That's true. Consider yourself a guest in the country and always show respect at all times. Visas can be revoked. You could get kicked out at any time. I don't know how I feel about, well, you are a guest in the country. When a Thai comes to America and stays there, to get his green card, or he's got his green card, do you view them as a guest? So, I don't know how I feel about that. In one regard, yes, I do think we are guests. However, I also think they let us stay here. We pay to stay here. We put money in their economy. Now, that does not give us the right to be an asshole. We still have to be a decent human being who fits into their culture. Wait, Australians don't speak English. All right, listen, please do me a favor and smash that like button. Oh, man, I'd appreciate it if you did that. That would be very good. Long-term resident and permanent resident. Well, of course there is. However, I'm going to say I've been here 30 years. So what am I? You know, I don't have permanent residency because they won't give it to me because I don't have a job. I'm not paying tax into a company, which is why I'm wondering what's going to happen when foreigners, if and when foreigners start paying taxes into the system. Are they going to say, okay, well now more people can become permanent residents? I don't know. I don't think anymore. I don't think they're going to raise the number, but I'm going to say maybe they will allow people to do that. And I'm like, to me, that's just, there's absolutely no call for them to not allow me to become a permanent resident. They don't want to let me become a citizen. Okay, I understand that. But like, man, you go to a lot of places. Philippines, Cambodia, Ecuador, up until recently, Portugal. You can stay there. You can become a permanent resident. In Ecuador, I think it's 3 years, maybe 5 years. And you're a permanent resident. That's it. You got everything. You know. So, but I will say this. Like I was saying, there's differences in how much people integrate. Moderate integration is 20 to 30%. These expats make efforts to learn Thai, understand the culture, and develop some Thai friendships or business relationships. They may participate in local festivals, embrace Thai etiquette, and adjust to the Thai societal norms while maintaining a balanced mix of expat and local connections. Then there is a high integration rate, which is 5 to 10%. A smaller group of expats fully integrates into Thai society. These individuals are often fluent in Thai, married to Thais, or deeply involved in local communities. They embrace Thai culture and may take on Thai citizenship or long-term residency. And I would say that's where I am, high integration. And if I'm in moderate, I'm like right on the edge of high integration. Because I've really made an effort to embrace Thai culture, because even though I'm not Thai, this is Thailand. I live here. This is my second home. And it's becoming my first home. You know. When I live here longer than I've lived in the United States, then what? You know, if I've lived here for 35 years, and I've lived in the United States for 32, which place is my home? Well, home is where you are born. That's generally what it is. But when you move somewhere, you have a new home. So that's the way I look at it. Full integration is challenging, partly due to cultural and legal differences, but it varies widely depending on personal circumstances. These rough figures might serve as a good talking point, especially when discussing the realities of life as an expat in Thailand versus expectations. I think it's pretty important. I can tell you, you know, I mean, I know a handful of guys here, right? I probably know 10 guys, like I know them pretty well. I see them all the time. And once in a while I bump into them or whatever, right? And I would say out of all of them, maybe one other person is integrated into the society more than I am, and I don't really know, and I'm trying to think of who it is, but I know that I have met people like that were, I mean, they were fully integrated, like, they're living out in the sticks, and they speak great Thai, and they're married and got families like Stephen Fine, who was in here a little bit ago. I don't know if he's listening. I would say he is fully integrated. He is a person who is fully integrated into society. He's got kids, or a kid. He's got kids or a kid. I'm trying to think. He's raised them here. Simple. He works here. He's been here for a long time. So he's one person. Most of the other people are probably not integrated at all. They're in the 60 to 70%, or they're starting to get to that moderate level. Good morning. They're getting to that moderate level where maybe they're trying to speak Thai, they're trying to understand the culture, they're starting to make some friends, they're starting to get to know people. If I go out, in this neighborhood, I go out, I know people everywhere. And I'm always, oh, hello, how are you? Swadee Krap. It's a given. You do it. This is what you do. You put the time in, and eventually it builds up. All right, so how should foreigners think if they don't want to have this us versus them mentality? First thing is learn the language. I hate to say it. Language is a gateway to understanding a culture more deeply. And learning even basic Thai can break down barriers and foster some respect. You speak a little bit of Thai and you're in. If they say to you, oh, you can speak Thai, you say, a little bit, oh, nindoi. Okay, that's all they need to hear, because they know you're trying. So, enroll in a Thai language school, use language apps, read books, try to speak Thai whenever you can. Any little bit of effort helps in building a rapport with Thai people. Very few people don't really care about, oh, that guy's trying. They care a little bit. They care as much as they should. Another thing is to embrace your curiosity. You look at certain opportunities, certain differences as opportunities instead of obstacles. So that's the way to act. You approach Thai customs, traditions, and ways of life with curiosity, and don't always judge them. So, try to take, I have a book on Thai, I don't remember the name of it, and I should actually put the link down below in the description. It's a great book, but it tells all about, I think it's Southeast Asia, and it tells it's an encapsulated summary of Thailand's history up until I don't know how many years ago. I don't know, that maybe they have another edition that came out or something, but it's very, very good. So anytime you get something like that, like Thailand, their history, and you can read it in a couple of hours or something like that, I think it's a good idea. You get a book, you put it in the bathroom every time you go and do your business. You read a couple of pages before you know, before you know it, you got it read, and you've learned a little bit about Thailand. Go to local festivals or events, which will help you understand the Thai world view and their view on their own culture. And I used to do this all the time. I don't do it as much anymore. I don't know if anything's going on when we go down to the south. I think there's something going on, but I don't remember what it is. But I've gone to a festival down in the south. I went in Soratani. We got a hotel room, me, my kids, and my wife. We got a hotel room. We went to this festival, and it ended up, we were there for about 3 hours, but it poured for like the last 2 hours. But we still had a good time because we just sat down, we ate, we relaxed. It's raining, we stayed in. When it stopped raining, we went out, walked around, saw the floats and all these things there. It was nice. People everywhere have similar needs. This is what I was saying. Kindness, respect, sense of belonging. Avoid viewing cultural differences as divisive. Instead of focusing on things that separate foreigners from Thais, highlight the shared values such as family, community, and respect for others. I don't know the name of the book. I'd have to go home and get the book, look at it, and I'll put the link to it later on. But it's something about the history of Southeast Asia. But it's not. It's only about that big, and it's about maybe that thick. But it's a very, very good book. It tells you about the history of Myanmar, Laos, Vietnam, and Thailand. So it's really good. Be realistic about what it means to live in a foreign country. Avoid expecting Thailand to function the same way as your home country. Things don't operate the same way here. And if you think you're going to come here and you're going to go, well, why don't they do it this way? That's better. They don't care. You could talk to your blue in the face. They don't care the way you do it back home. They have their own way. You want to get a Big Mac and you don't want pickles on it? Maybe you can do it, maybe you can't. If they say no, take it off yourself. Let's see here. Frustration often arises when foreigners hold Thailand to the same standards they would expect back home. Here is the big one, except that some things will be different or even slower in Thailand. Sometimes they're a little faster. Listen, I go in the hospital. The hospital is almost always faster here than it is in the United States. I go to the United States, I'm there for 4 hours, 5 hours. I come here, and I'm here for, an hour or two. That's it. Adopting the Thai phrase, "might been rai," never mind, it's okay, can help in dealing with everyday inconveniences. No taxi, might been rai. And it just switches your brain. You don't have the same mindset that you might have back in the, maybe in the US, you're like, oh, I gotta get this taxi. Where's the taxi? There's no taxi. Oh, I've got to go over here. Let me walk down here. Let me call another taxi. Here you just go, Now, the only difference is, the only thing I don't like, I really don't like it, is when they tell you, 500 baht or 300 baht, they don't want to turn the meter on. But you just say, no, turn the meter on. No, cannot. Okay, bye. That's all. Now, this is another one that I think people really need to think about. Being a guest in another country means respecting its rules and customs. Avoid feeling entitled or superior because of foreign status or wealth. Practice humility and adapt to the local way of doing things. Understand that being a foreigner, this is a big one right here. Understand that being a foreigner doesn't give special rights beyond those afforded by local law. You may get special rights just because you're a foreigner, but don't expect them. I'm not a wannabe Thai. I just like it there a lot. I know I will never be Thai. And they believe me. When I tell them, I've been here 30 years, I speak Thai, and blah, blah, blah. They're like, you are Thai people now. Oh, yes, okay, thank you. But I know I will never be Thai. And that's okay. I don't want to be Thai. I am what I am. Thank you very much, Joe. I am what I am. I am what I am. What does he say? Oops. God darn it. How do I do this? There we go. Give Joe a thumbs up. That would be nice. What does he say? What does Papa say? I am what I am. I am what I am. And that's all that I am. That's what Popeye says. You ain't special because you're entitled with money, and the sense of entitlement, leave it alone, doesn't work. Well, I got news for you guys. There's a lot of Thais here that have a lot of money. I know because I've been around some of them. Many of them. I've been around them in boxing. I've been around them in journalism. I've been around them in business. I've been around them with my wife's business. There are some people, you tell them, oh, it's going to cost you 5,000 to go to this place and another, 20,000 baht for the hotel. And, okay, no problem. No problem. Maybe right. I got the money. Some of them got millions of baht sitting in the bank. They're not all rich, but they're definitely not all poor. So, you think you come here and, oh, I've got, $20,000 in the bank. I'm rich. No, you're not. I mean, if that's all it is, I'd be walking around thinking I was rich all the time. And I'm not. That's just the way that it is. So you got to get away from that. That's not the way to think. It's not a good mentality to have. I'm not surprised at all. See, that's the thing, Jim. I know that all Thais are not poor. There are poor Thais, and there are Thais who are not poor, and there are Thais that are very wealthy. And I can tell you that some of the farmers, you may think they're poor. They may be cash poor. You ask them to, fork over 1 million baht. They may not have 1 million baht in the bank, but they've got, their truck is paid for, their land is paid for. They got rice money coming in. They got this, they got that. Next thing you know, you go, wow, this guy's he's worth some money. So, it's not all about having cash in the bank, although that is the best way. You just go, I got 5 million baht sitting in the bank. So the entitlement, that's a trap right there. Do not think you're entitled when you come here. Do not think, I'm better than them. I've got money. They don't have money. They don't know what they're doing. They're poor. That's a bunch of bullshit. Relationships with local. Thank you very much there, Aiden. If I can get this here. Ah! There we go. Oh shit, I didn't want to delete that! Oh, shoot. How do I get that back? Son of a gun, I didn't mean to do that. Darn it. Let me see if I can get it back. All the people are coming in now. Ah. I hope I did not just... I hope I didn't ban you. Son of a bitch. Yeah, please smash the like button. I don't know what I did there. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Maybe leave me a message send me a message in the chat, Aiden, so I know you're still here. Otherwise, I'm going to have to try to get you back. I didn't mean to do that. I'm trying to push the button on the screen here. Very difficult. Yes, it's time to smash the like button. That would be good if somebody did that. Some people did that. All good. Okay. All right, good. I don't know why they... Here we go. Oh. Oops, let's see here. Yeah, I don't know what I just did. They should ask for a confirmation or something. I don't know. I forgot my tripod today. You know, I'm using popcorn bottles. I'm using popcorn bottles to hold up my phone. Like the popcorn bottles over here, the chocolate and caramel and all that. I got the phone sitting on one, oh man, sitting on one bottle, and then there's two bottles behind it set up against it. Because for whatever reason, I forgot the mini tripod. All right, let me go on here. Relationships with locals are essential for deeper integration. When you form meaningful connections with Thai people, it's easier to see beyond the us versus them mentality. And I'll tell you what really got me away from that us versus them mentality is I started thinking about my kids. I started thinking about some, little rugrat running around. When I see some rugrat running around and the mother's not really doing anything, I'd like to go, hey, what are you doing? But then I think about my own kids. And I think about what a pain in the neck they can be sometimes, or they could have been back in the day. Okay, then they start growing up. There's some school-age kid. They're 14, 15 years old. They're laughing and joking. They're loud. And then I see some kid doing that, and I'm like, wish that kid would shut up. Then I think of my own kids, and I go, wait a minute. My kids do that too. I'm like, And then sometimes I think about, like, my boxing friends. I think, oh, this guy was a boxer. He didn't have a great education. He wasn't the smartest guy, but he was smart enough, and he was a nice guy, and if you were disrespectful to him, maybe he would kick your ass. And I think of that, and I think, okay, maybe this kid over here is just like him. So that's what got me away from the whole us versus them. And I'm not saying that I always, am thinking, oh no, we're all one, everything is great. I'm not saying that. Sometimes I'll go, why are they doing this? I just don't get it, and I'll it'll be us versus them. But most of the time, I don't feel that way. Make friends with locals by joining community activities, clubs, or volunteering. This fosters mutual understanding and breaks down barriers between expats and locals. All right, you can do that if you want. Stay open-minded and flexible. Be prepared to adapt and adjust your thinking when you encounter something new or different. Flexibility helps to reduce friction in day-to-day life. If a situation or custom feels uncomfortable, instead of reacting negatively, take a moment to reflect and try to understand the reasoning behind it and even question them. Hey, why is it that way? You don't have to be, a jerk in questioning them. You just say, oh, that's unusual. Ani may tamada, may pukati. It's not the norm. Why is it like that? And then they'll explain it to you. Hopefully, Thailand's social structure is more hierarchical than many Western cultures. Understanding and respecting these structures can help foreigners integrate better and avoid feeling alienated. Learn and follow Thai etiquette such as how to properly lie, how to behave towards elders, and how to show respect in formal settings. And that's the thing. And sometimes it's now I kind of take that for granted because I know if somebody's older than me, I will why them. And, I'm not one of these people who thinks I gotta why everybody and, oh, I gotta be so polite. And, I'm like, oh, I don't want to bow down to anybody. You're not bowing down to them. You're just showing them that you understand they're your elder. That's it. They're your elder. Maybe they're an idiot. Who knows? But at least show them some respect. Let's see here. Resist generalizing about ties on negative experiences. Stereotyping fuels the us versus them mentality and limits personal growth. Now, if there's a situation and you're going, oh, those ties, why did the ties do this? Why did they do that? Take away tie and say, why did they do that? And if the nationality doesn't really factor in, then it doesn't matter. It could be, could be Nigerians, could be Venezuelans, could be Italians. If being Thai doesn't make that situation what it is, it doesn't matter then. Take away being Thai. Reflect on your interactions and avoid making sweeping judgments about Thai culture or people. Each individual experience is unique. That's true. Now, one of the things that I say is that even though the working girls are really from the lowest stratus of culture here, it doesn't mean you can't treat them well. Do you treat a maid well in a hotel? Of course. I don't particularly like when I go into the bathroom and there's always a woman standing there when I'm getting ready to take a piss. I don't particularly like that, but I can be polite to them, And I don't care what they're, I really don't care if they're in there. It just seems that every time I go in the bathroom, there's always a woman in there. But would you respect a maid? Or a janitor or something like that? Of course you would. I mean, in my book, you would. You got to give. It's not like you have to be best friends with them, but I mean, listen. Sometimes you get in a conversation with people and you find out you got something in common. You start talking about it. Next thing you know, you're like, hey, the person. You get to know them a little bit better. All right, let's see here. Understand that as foreigner, you are a guest. In Thailand, a guest's role is to respect the house rules and the host. Now, that's true. Show respect here. That's all you got to do. Follow the rules. Everybody's got the same rules here. I see a woman cleaning a men's bathroom event at Four Seasons in Bangkok. I got a thing about cleaning. I don't know if that's a good thing, Joe, or I don't really know. But whatever it is, it doesn't really matter. As long as you treat them decently. I mean, even bar girls. I never have said you need to treat them poorly or they're lower than you or anything like that. But what you do need to do is keep it in perspective. They're working there for what? Man, I'm getting sore throat quick. Oh, Jesus Christ. See, what was I saying? Oh, you got to keep it in perspective. I mean, I think that you can respect them. If you're a guy, you're a mechanical engineer, we'll say, or you're a doctor, and you come over here and you meet some girl, and she's, the cleaning lady in the bathroom. Chances are, you're not going to hook up with her. Now, maybe you will. Maybe you'll have a little fun. Who knows? And if she's a girl from the bar, you ought to know. I would think doctors would be smart enough. Some doctors. You're not going to jump into a relationship. It's just not smart. And it just doesn't normally happen. Now, you know, if you're some guy and you're a plumber, and, you know, you meet some girl and she's, you know, hard-working girl, maybe she's teaching preschool and, you know, in Isan somewhere, and, you know, you guys get along fine. You know. But the big thing is the respect. You got to keep respecting each other, and, you know, you don't have to fall in love with them. But that's the thing. Most girls, if I went onto a song town in Pattaya, and there was 4 or 5 girls there, I wouldn't have any problem saying, hello, Swadika. How are you? Spidey Mai? You know, I wouldn't have any problem speaking Thai to them. And they would probably speak back to me. Now, would I pick them up, take them back to my room? Probably not. They probably wouldn't want to go with me. I mean, unless they were working girls. Show gratitude for the opportunity to live in Thailand by respecting local customs and laws. This not only strengthens ties with locals, but also reduces feelings of alienation. And I think that's what happens in the tourist areas. I think that the Thais who are dealing with tourists, they get sick of it. They're like, hey, you know, enough of these people. They don't understand my culture. They don't want to understand it. They don't try to understand it. They're going to be here for a little while, and they're going to go home, and, you know, I don't have to be overly nice to them. That's what some of them think. To avoid the us versus them mindset, it is crucial for foreigners to focus on understanding, respect, and adaptability. Instead of viewing cultural differences as a divide, expats can foster a deeper connection with Thai society by approaching their experience with openness and humility. And you know what? If you are humble here, it will go a long, long way. If you walk around, well, you think you're better than everybody, it's not going to go very far. By being proactive in learning, building relationships, and staying flexible, expats can feel more integrated and less alienated, leading to a more fulfilling life. This approach could resonate well, helping other expats navigate similar challenges. You know, you will never be Thai here. That's the thing. You may feel like you're Thai. You may feel integrated into society. You may feel like you're one of them. You will never be one of them. But neither will the Laotians, neither will the Burmese, neither will the Cambodians, Malaysians. But those people that come here and live here, they abide by the rules and the laws of the country. It's very simple. Even with fluent Thai language skills and cultural knowledge and deeper understandings, the fact remains that many Thais will view expats as farang or foreigners. In Thailand, being Thai is seen as more than just legal status. It's tied to ethnicity, culture, and family lineage. The distinction between Thainess and foreigners can be hard to accept. Not really, especially for those who have made Thailand their home. I understand I'm not Thai. It's not a problem. However, it's crucial to recognize that this mindset is deeply ingrained in the national psyche. That's why Thais always, generally, when they see a Thai, like in another country or in another part of the country here, they will communicate with them. They will talk to them. Hey, where are you from? What do you do? They want to know, well, what's up? And they talk to each other. Now, another thing is you don't have equal footing in this country. They can be somebody, even if you're a permanent resident. They are a citizen. You would never be viewed as they are. And the laws are very unlikely to change, and just accept it. Accept that. Don't be frustrated with it. Mike Ben Rye, another Mike Ben Rye. It is understandable to feel conflicted about being treated as a guest despite contributing to Thai society. However, recognizing that this is part of Thailand's cultural and legal framework might alleviate some of the frustration. I mean, what do you think? I look and I go, wait a minute, I spent more money here than many, many Thais. You know, I mean, there are times I've gone to the grocery, I spent 5,000 baht, right? I spent 20,000 baht a month, 20,000 baht a month, just on groceries. Now, does that make me better than all the people that are earning, say, 10,000, 15,000 a month? Of course not. It just means that I got to spend more money on that food. That's all it means. You just take it exactly what it is. It's not worth any. It doesn't make me more Thai than them because I'm spending more money. Embracing what you love about the country while accepting the limits of expat rights can help you maintain a more positive outlook. Oh man. There are quite a few unique struggles of long-term expats in Thailand, and this is a theme that touches on the emotional and practical realities of living here as a foreigner in the country. Now, some people think it's a cop-out to accept that you're a permanent guest here, especially when you contribute to society for so long, to the country for so long. I paid my dues financially. Does that mean that I have more rights? No, it doesn't. I don't have more rights than anybody. This means that I paid my way. That's all it means. You're paying your way. It costs money to live, unfortunately. And I followed the rules, or I'd be in jail. Being treated differently despite your long-term commitment would make anyone feel like the system is rigged. However, really it's not. The fact is, many expats, especially those who have lived in Thailand for decades, thank you, often feel this way. It's not about giving the Thai government a pass, but about acknowledgement of the reality that the system is deeply stacked against foreigners. Well, they do that for a reason. And I kind of wish they did that in the United States. It doesn't necessarily mean it's right or fair, but it's a system as it stands, and that in itself can be irritating if you let it irritate you. I mean, you can feel like it's unjust because there's no real path to equality. You may be paying taxes, but you don't really have a voice. That's why I said, what are you getting for your money? Hey, Carlos, how you doing? You will never be Thai, and that reality is rather harsh. You are a permanent outsider. Even if you fully embrace Thai culture, you're still seen as a foreigner, which creates a sense of exclusion. Not everybody, in fact, many people, they have no idea how long you've been in the country. They have no idea. If you don't say a word to them, they have no idea that you speak the language. So you're just another foreigner to them. Foreigners in Thailand are legally barred from things like owning land outright, and you're at the mercy of a complex number of visa regulations and constant renewal processes. These are clear examples of the system that keeps expats on the outside. And for me, I don't really care about that. The system may feel unfair to people, and many expats are frustrated, and they feel like second-class citizens. And I understand it. Sometimes I feel that way. Anytime I talk about being a citizen or a permanent resident, it irritates me. But, I'm still here. That's the thing. And if I wasn't here, I'd be somewhere else. And I'd have to deal with a set of problems there. It's just like you have one chick and you go, I'm going to break up with her. And then you go, oh, I met this other one, though. And you jump from one frying pan into the next. And who knows? The other frying pan might be a lot hotter. You might get burned. You don't know what's going to happen. You just never know. Instead of accepting the guest narrative, you could push for the idea that long-term expats deserve more recognition and rights. Your lived experience gives you credibility to call out these inequities. By speaking up, you're not just venting frustration, you're giving voice to a lot of expats who likely feel the same way but may not articulate it. Well, most people don't have a platform where they can articulate it. They have their little area where look at, like, Jim. You're in your area, you talk to other foreigners, you guys talk about things, and generally, that's about all it goes. That's about where it goes. It doesn't go any farther than that. It's not like you have a platform, and I'm not saying I do, but it's not like you have a platform of, say, 2 million people, and they're spreading the word. That's not how it works. Some people do, but generally it doesn't do any good anyway. Let's see here. Now, what I'd like to know is what a just and balanced system for expats in Thailand, what it might look like. How could they achieve this? How can they change it to where it's not like it is now and it would be better for us? I think they're concerned about it being better for them or good for them. And however it is with us, that's how it is. I think that's what they think. Should long-term residents be granted more rights or even citizenship after a certain period? Well, I think they need to figure something out with the citizenship and permanent residency. I think it's a bit outdated what they have. And this attachment to earning doesn't really seem to work for me. No, Jim lives in Chayapum. I'm getting your videos there, Carlos. Let me see if I can see him here. I don't know. Bring him up on my computer. Oh man, I don't know what happened, but right at the beginning of stream, all of a sudden my throat got really, really sore. Oh, rain, flooding. Wow, crazy. Yeah. Ours, down in this area, it's not that bad. I'd say about a week ago, there was some flooding, and it was quite bad. But it's kind of subsided, and while it does rain, it's really not that bad. Hey, how you doing there? Howdy, hi there. Where are we for time? Over 90 minutes. Okay. All right. So let me see here. So I guess my point is, before you start thinking it's us, the Western expat or the expat, it's us, and then there's them. It's not us against them. Listen, when they come and fix my air conditioner, when they come and fix the roof, when they come and fix something, do something at my house, they're not like saying, "Oh, here's the foreigner. I'm gonna rip them off. I'm gonna ship them for everything I can get." They don't do that to me. And maybe they could. Well, first of all, I would know. Most of the time I would know. Second of all, my wife would certainly know. She would question it. But they just don't do that. They're not out to, the average Thai is not out to get you. Now, in tourist areas, that's a little bit different. They're out to make money. But, if I'm walking around in the mall here, most of the things, it's like, whatever the price is, that's the price. If I'm in the market and I gotta, the prices are what they are there. 10 baht for this, 20 baht for this, 100 baht for this. It really depends, but, if you've got to negotiate, well, that's up to you. Your negotiating skills are what they are. Maybe you can negotiate better than some Thais. There are people I know that are much, much better. And, I've said it before. Sometimes, my wife goes and gets something and she pays 50 baht, and I go, I paid 40. Yeah, and like I said earlier, take the word Thai out of the equation and see, does the situation apply? If it still does, then it has nothing to do with Thai. Thailand, Thai culture. Because sometimes it just doesn't. Sometimes it does. But you should be clear about where you are when you're looking at the situation of us versus them. Is it warranted? All those bastards. And a long time ago, it's been 30 years now. When I first got here, people used to say, they want your money, but they don't want you. Now, I don't believe that. I mean, some of them, they're just like, whatever. That's just how they are. And so what? So people are in the United States. I mean, some people, they might have enough time where they're like, I'm going to get pissed off because these, Croatians can't come to the country. All right, fine. No, I wanted to talk about one more thing. And that has to do, I asked my wife the other day, because I saw something, and it was like, you've been married for 30 years. How do you do it? And I was like, well, we've been married for a long time. How do we do it? Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I think. But, in the beginning, I think a lot of people feel that way. And they still think, oh, well, it's this much over there, and it's half the price here. Yeah, well, what about the times when prices are more expensive here than they are there? That's why I don't compare. I don't live there. The prices there don't matter to me. What matters is the price here. That's what matters to me. But if you've been here for, say, listen, I know one guy, and I don't really know him per se. I've never gone and met him or anything like that, but I do know him through many, many emails and many messages. And I would have, he was bitching and moaning about how bad Thailand is. I was like, why don't you go somewhere else? Well, I can't. I don't have the money. Well, guess what? Stop your bitching and moaning because you live here. If you don't have the money to move anywhere else, you have no reason to bitch because you got it good here. You can't go anywhere else. You'd have to start all over again, and I understand that. If I had to leave here, I'd have to start all over again. And, if I did start all over again, I would not want to do a damn thing. I just want to sit there with my TV and stuff to watch and a market in the area and, a little shopping center around somewhere. That's my life, Go out on a motorbike, go for a ride every once in a while, go down to the beach, whatever. Aisha. Anyway, I was talking to my wife. I said, so what is it? What is the one recommendation that you would give to people who want to be married for a long time? They want to stay married. And you know what she said? Don't speak too much. And she goes, sometimes you speak too much. But usually I know, if I'm pushing her about something, I know when I get to the point where I'm like, I better back off. I already know. I gotta back off, man. I know that. And I think she's probably right. Wait until you're calm before you're gonna speak about anything. Wait until it's the right time to speak. You don't have to get answers for everything right this second. A lot of times you can wait. You can wait a day, you can wait a couple of days, you can wait a couple of hours, whatever it is. And that's okay. And you get your thoughts out in 2 to 3 words, that's gold. Well, it's not always possible, but, I think it's important that you speak as succinctly as possible. And sometimes I think, I'm going to talk to her about this, and then I just go, nah, I don't need to. If she wants to talk about it, we can talk. So, it's a lot. I would say that'd probably be my number one thing too. You could say, honesty, loyalty, she doesn't cheat on you, all these things. Just don't speak too much. It goes without saying you should be honest and loyal and faithful and all these other things. But not speaking too much, sometimes I would say it another way. Sometimes you need to know when to shut up and you need to know when to speak. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you gotta just, like my old man used to say, pipe down. He used to say that all the time, pipe down. And I'd be like, okay. I would know then. I better keep it down. Anyway, so you could go on and on about this. You could go on and on and on about us against them. Well, first of all, you should just try to avoid thinking that way, because to me, it's a fruitless endeavor. Once you start thinking, it's us foreigners against the Thais, it doesn't really serve any good purpose. Oh, man. Let's see here. Thailand's current system gives a lot of leeway to the government, but that doesn't mean expats have to accept it silently. No, but again, just like in a relationship, you need to know when you need to bite your tongue. Listen, I don't always agree with what they are offering, and sometimes I think they shouldn't come out with things until they have it finalized, and I don't think it should be done this way, but I'm not a politician. So me going to them and saying, I really don't think you should be doing that, I think you need to do it my way. No, that's not going to happen. I'm not going to do that. I can make believe. I'm a make-believe politician. And that's it. So there you have it. That's what I think. That's my take on it. I am what I am, and that's all that I am. I love it. Ugh. I'm all out of coffee. They didn't give me any water. And I got a sore throat. Probably from talking too much. Because I'm constantly trying to remember not to talk too much. Actually, I don't know if I have anything else here. Anybody got anything else they want to say? I don't understand what they do here. I mean, I have not been to the Swenson ever. I'm not like you, Jim. I don't go to Swenson's. But some days, I don't know if they know that there's not going to be any people or what. But like now, they have the chairs in front. They don't have this whole section open. So nobody can sit there. They can only sit over here. But come 4 o'clock, it might be packed. I don't know why they do that, or if they just don't open it up until they have enough people to fill that place up. I don't know what they're doing. And you know what? It doesn't really matter. Yeah, I don't know about that. I just saw something here earlier. Excuse me. Oh, Sean Combs, Puff Daddy, arrested. Just a couple, 20 minutes ago, 10, 20 minutes ago. Let's see here. I just saw something about the bots. Oh, no, that's not it. I don't know where it is. Let's see here. These are 33.4. I don't know what the deal is here. Let me see here. Let's see here. $33.28. That's what I still have. But I just saw that the bot is supposed to get even stronger. So I don't know. I don't know what the deal is, what's going to happen. Oh, Jim, see? Your ears must be burning. Swenson, Swenson, Swenson. I have not eaten at this Swenson ever, or I haven't had anything in Swenson's. And I don't want to, quite honestly. I don't want to get bigger, I want to get smaller. I'm always thinking, I want to be smaller. I don't want to be bigger. Well, you know, I don't know if they know exactly what they're doing and how to control things. Let's see here. Oh, wait a minute. Well, that was a week ago. Thai bot opened slightly stronger. Opened at 33.9, now it's 33.28. But weakness looms. That was the nation. About 10 days ago, bot becoming ridiculously strong. Thai bot is too strong and impacting exports, minister says. Thailand's baht is too strong in affecting exports, which are expected to post only small growth this year, and the central bank should take action on the currency. The Bank of Thailand should also cut interest rates to increase liquidity, Pichai Naripatapan said, continuing a month-long disagreement between the government and the central bank over the setting of rates. This is in Reuters. One Monday, the baht traded its strongest level in more than 18 months against the U.S. dollar. The ministry last month maintained its export growth target at 1 to 2%. Exports were up to 3.8% in 2023. Let's see here. See, they're talking about this, but they're not saying really what's being done other than the Bank of Thailand. Let me see this. We got to talk about Sean Combs, the music mogul whose career has been upended by sexual assault lawsuits, and a federal investigation, was arrested in Manhattan on Monday evening after a grand jury indicted him, according to a person familiar with the indictment who is not authorized to speak publicly. So then what good is it? Supposedly he's being charged with racketeering and sex trafficking. That's about all they're saying. Yeah, we're not going to talk anything more about that. Let's see something here. Meta bans RT and other Russian state media networks. Okay. Oh, it's urged. The Bank of Thailand is urged to reduce interest rates. Minister says value of the baht is too strong. So, on Monday it was 33. I didn't see that, but okay. A strengthening baht results in the decline in the revenue of exporters, particularly with regard to agricultural products, and hence affects the profit margins. The central bank should also cut interest rates to increase liquidity and access to funding. Let me see here. Well, they're saying that they should. It's recommended by the government, by the Ministry of Commerce. The guy I just was talking about, Pichai Naripatapan, said the value of the baht is too strong, and this is affecting exports, which are expected to post only small amounts of growth this year. So I want to see what happens, because it's a conflict between the government and the Bank of Thailand. Over the past month, the baht has strengthened by 5 to 6%. Listen, in about 3 to 4 months. Let me see here. I'm not sure exactly. No. That's not what I want. Let me see if I can do this here. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Well, this is 36. So, yeah, in May, June, July, the bot was 36, between 36.5 and 37. So it's lost about 11 or 12% in like 4 or 5 months, which is that's a lot. That is a lot. Quite a lot. What are you gonna do? We're gonna have to wait and see, like always. Wait and see, wait and see. Might be right, might be right, might be right. Never mind. Sabay, sabay. Jayin yin, take it easy. We always have to relax, take it easy. We're gonna see what happens. It would be nice if we get to 37 by January 1st. That would be lovely. But listen, I'll take 35 at this point. Just remember something. If you got $10,000 and you transfer it over here, now you're gonna get 332,900. But 4 months ago, you're getting 370,000. So you're losing like $11,000-$12,000. Needed more than that. Let me think here. Well, you're losing too much money. If you had 370,000 and now you got 330,000, you're losing 40,000. 40,000 baht in 4 months, just because. No other. It's great when you're making money that way. It's fantastic. Like when it was at 56 before, I was like, I'm in the money. I thought it was great, but then it went, whoosh, took a dump, and that was it. All right, so, oh shit, man, I didn't know we're this far in. We've been here for a long time. All right. Thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate it. Appreciate the contributions. You can always become. You can smash the like button. You can subscribe. You can hit the notification bell. You can go down, and everything's down below in the description. All the ways that you can help. The social media links are down there. Everything's down there. And you can always become a $1.99 YouTube member. $1.99. Pretty good. So, you know, you can always do that, or you can just keep watching, whatever you want, doesn't matter. You know, it's nice, but end of the day, we're done today. Oh, man. We're done today, and I don't know. Out of it, I get 65%. They keep 35%, believe it or not. Unbelievable. Later, Jim. Later, Gator. Yeah, YouTube, I don't know what they're thinking, but, you know, YouTube, supposedly Google doesn't make a dime. They're the first $1 trillion company, and they don't make any money. And yet, you know, there's guys out there making a hell of a lot more than I make. And they're getting 35% of their super chats and things like that. You know, I see guys, they get $500 super chats. I'm like, so Google just made some serious cash for doing nothing, for putting it up there on the, you know, on a computer, and that's about it. And that's just one person. Think about all the millions of people there. So, I mean, you know, I don't know why they're not making money. This was a couple of years ago. They said they weren't making money. I don't know. Maybe now they are. Doesn't really matter, but you know, it is what it is. They're the only, they are the best option out there. They're better than Rumble, they're better than Odyssey, they're better than Vimeo, and all. They're the best option out there. So, you know, like I said, it is what it is. Anyway, I gotta go. I will talk to you guys later. Take care. Choke D, Leo, Jerk and Mai. I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok, and I will see you later. Arrivederci. Choke D. Ciao.